What is going on, guys? Jay back with you today. I am bringing you the 14th episode of the Be a GM series. Now, in last video, you saw the last run going to the playoffs. And in this video, as you can see on your screen, we did make the playoffs. And in the first round, we are not facing Detroit for the first time in 2 years. And we are facing Buffalo. So, we did check before the video, and they don't have that great of a team compared to us. We definitely have the edge in goaltenders and defense. So, going to the first game, who are you looking for to completely tear Buffalo out of the water?
Well, one thing Josh didn't mention really quick is that the reason we got the first seed in the Eastern Conference, or well, at least in our division anyways, is because we looked at the last 10 games, and we were 7-3, and Tampa Bay, who you, as you remember if you watched the last video, which if you haven't you should, they were competing with us. And they went like 1-7-2, I think it was, and we were 7-3. So that's why we got the first seed and how we get to play Buffalo. But as far as blowing them out of the water, I think you look at Carlson and Yandel from the back end, and I think you look at guys, maybe Bobby Ryan, Mika Zibanejad. But, you know, as we saw looking at the stats, there aren't really too many stars on your team. They just all perform at their level. So I don't know if one person will necessarily blow them out of the water. If anybody does, it'll be Robin Lehner.
Ooh, going with the goalie. I like it. So, going into game one, let's just start it off. So, injuries are on and goalie rotations are turned off as Bobby Ryan gets the first goal. So, like you said, Robin Lehner is our goalie going in as Craig Anderson is not performing, or not. I shouldn't say not performing, but definitely struggling. Shouldn't say he's not doing good, but his overall has dropped a lot. And if you haven't noticed, because I'm trying to a little bit avoid it while I'm trying to talk, but we take a 4-0 lead, going 5-0 going into the third period. And like I said beforehand, blowing them out of the water as Matt Molson gets one on Robin Lehner, ruining the shutout for the playoffs. But like usual in me and Chris's adventures on NHL 15, we are getting outshot again and still winning. But shorthanded goal by Greening. And like you said, the defensive core and our forwards are definitely stepping up in the playoffs so far.
Well, I don't know if I mentioned this out loud or just in my head, but the first two forwards I mentioned, Bobby Ryan and Mika Zibanejad, first two goals there. Yandel had, I think, the fifth goal. So, and you see we had 6 different goal scorers. 2 assists on every single goal, 6 different goal scorers, and everybody stepped up in that game. That was a beautiful display of offense by Ottawa, and it just makes me happy to see that the depth scoring stayed there. Yandel and Carlson, 6 points combined in 5 points combined in game 1. As I said, look for the top line on the defense to provide the most points here in the playoffs.
You definitely called it before the game even started, so definitely give you props on that one. They did have both their goalies be in the game. I'm not sure which one actually started. I think it was Johnson. Yeah. But going into game 2, I don't even know who to put an eye on here other than the entire team and Robin Lehner. So I don't really have a person going into game 2. But as soon as the game gets going, I will start the simulation. And as we go into Game 2, do you think Buffalo could bounce back here?
Nah, Josh. I look for more of the same. As you were saying earlier, we look through the rosters, and we have the better power. We have the better defense. We have the better goaltender. There's no reason we shouldn't put up 3 or 4 more goals on Buffalo here eventually in the second half of this game. But, you know, we have the offense to be there. They've gotten 2 shots past Lehner so far, but it's a manageable deficit going into the third period here.
Yeah, like you said, the 2-0 lead. I don't know how that 3-0 now, but what was it, 6-2 in the last game? Yeah. That we don't even score a single goal so far in this game. There we go. Mika Zibanejad finally breaks through, and we did get outshot yet again. But if we look for our stats, Zibanejad gets his second of the playoffs so far. It does look like there's a lot of penalties in this game. It could have just been situations, I'm not exactly sure, but a lot of guys are playing a lot of minutes, which is good for us. And it doesn't look to see any injuries going on so far in the playoffs. But going into Game 3, with that loss, who do you... Oh, no, we do have something. Okay, Mark Stone is out for, I think it's a week or two, with a fractured jaw. So, if you guys didn't know, we still do have Eric Condra that's already on the NHL roster that we brought up before the video. So, do you just want to insert Condra here on the second line, or do you want to make a change?
Well, I know you don't like the double sniper, but I wouldn't mind seeing Eberle bumped up. If not, I would put Chason up there. I think Condra definitely not fit enough to play on that second line. I think you bump one of those third or fourth line right wingers up, Josh.
Definitely agree. I think what I'm going to do is, since Heatley, Lazar, and Eberle have been playing together, I think I'm going to move up Chiasson, only because it kind of gives the same role as Stone in a way. So Condra kind of fits right back there on the fourth line and gives the same role in that on the second line. So I don't think they have any other lineup changes other than that one. So looking past the injury, do you think Chiasson can still put up the same kind of numbers as Mark Stone going into Game 3?
Well, we kind of talked off the video beforehand about how Chiasson's overall is there, but the production doesn't match what he should be doing. Unexpected goal by Zach Smith there, pretty clutch. But as I was saying, Chiasson's production doesn't match his overall, and maybe bumping it up to the second line will boost his confidence, even though it is from injury, and hopefully get him on the scoreboard and see what happens here.
Yeah, like you said, Chiasson definitely being moved up definitely should help him as we go into a 3-2 game. Bobby Ryan getting the power play go-ahead goal, but however, Girgenson's not going away with the third goal for them. Going into the third period, we are close to doubling their shots, but we do keep getting a lot of early power plays into the period, so usually that helps us a lot. But if nothing changes here, we are going to overtime for the first time this offseason, or the postseason, I mean. Who do you think is going to score here for us?
Well, I don't know how much is left on their power play, but we're starting off shorthanded. So I'm hoping one of your guys can either get a shorthanded goal or at least kill off the penalty and hopefully close off this game within the first 5 minutes. But I'm looking at Bobby Ryan. He seems to be hot right now. I think he's scored in every game. So if I'm looking for one specific guy, it's probably Bobby Ryan right now.
Definitely agree. It definitely is on a hot streak right now. But I'm going to call it right here. Curtis Lazar, shorthanded. Can it happen? Let's find out. All right. So, maybe not shorthanded, but either way, I think he'll definitely get a goal here. Halfway through, so far, nothing. Are we going to go to double OT here? And no, we aren't. Girgenson's, again, not going away. But it does look like Anderson went in the game. So, I'm not sure if that was just on goals or if there was an injury to Robin Leonard. But Girgensons ends the game for Buffalo as they go up 2-1 in the series. So if we looking for it, they actually had checking behind 44 seconds into the game as a very loud RV goes past our house. They took the first. How many is this? Holy cow. What do we have? 6 here, 7. Then it looks like they got a major charging by Rustalainen, and it looks like he went out of the game. But the first, what is that? 8 penalties goes towards Buffalo, and then we take 2 after that. Then it looks like it was all them, and then we only take 4 penalties the entire game, which is kind of interesting to see. But going into this, I'm not sure what happened with. That's strange. There might have been an injury to Leonard, I think.
I don't think they'd take him out with only allowing 2 goals, maybe on 11 shots, kind of close. But I'm expecting an injury here to Leonard, which does not bode well for our future, going down 2-1, I believe it is.
Yes, it's 2-1. Like you said, 2 goals in just less than 30 minutes on 11 shots. Okay, let's see what happens here as we go into Game 4. There it is. Robin Leonard injured hamstring, out for about a week, and I think, who do we have down there? We have Chris Driedger. I believe that are in the playoffs though, so I didn't want to take away their starting goaltender, especially when we have Craig Anderson backing him up. And we have Herringer here, who is a good prospect, and Alex Moody. So I believe they are in the playoffs. We're going to check here. Yes, they are. So I think I'm going to bring up Alex Moody, only because I want to keep Driedger down there. Now, I know usually you want to bring up the best goaltender, but in this situation, since we have Craig Anderson going anyway, it doesn't really make sense unless he gets injured as well. Then we'll bring up Driedger. But since it doesn't really matter that much. Let's just make that change real quick and go into Game 4 as we're down 2-1 versus Buffalo after completely blowing them out of the water in Game 1. So going into Game 4, who are you looking for to absolutely take this game over and win Game 4 for us to tie up the series?
Well, I think you guys need to get back. Well, I shouldn't say you guys. I think we need to get back to the depth scoring. I don't know where it's gone, but it seems to be the same guys over and over and over are scoring for you. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's not what helped you win and get into the playoffs this season. I'm kind of confused by the production or lack thereof of your team, in these last two games. 0-0 into the third. I don't know what's going to happen, dude. I don't even know the word for it, man.
I don't either because I don't know what you're thinking. But either way, going into the third period, I did pause it just for a second to see what's going to happen and see what you thought about it. But as we go in, Jordan Eberle finally gets a goal. I think it's his first of the postseason. I'm not exactly sure about that one. Apparently it's his second. Gergensen still not going away. You need to go sit down, Gergensen. I don't like you, even though you're a good player. But going into overtime for, I think it's second game in a row, we are outshooting them by 2. I think if I'm looking for an X factor in this playoffs, I think I'm going to go with Mike Hoffman. I think he's been pretty quiet. I don't know if he's actually gotten a goal or not, but that's my X factor. Do you have anyone you're looking for?
No, Hoffman's a good one. As you said earlier, that is Eberle's second of the postseason, but maybe something from the top line of defense. Carlson and Yandel seem to have been quiet lately. Yandel had a goal in the last game or the game before, but maybe some top line defenseman gets a goal here.
Let's look for anybody to score for us as we get an early power play. Second one, Mike Hoffman. Like I called it, I am the
Good
best.
Shit.
You guys couldn't see it, but me and my brother are very excited about that one. Yes, we both were right. Jordan Eberle gets his second as Mike Hoffman gets his first from Anderson and Ryan. Interesting to see there. Looks like maybe it's just situational. I'm not exactly sure, but whoa, I did see that. Alex Chiasson only played 1 minute, probably an injury there. Hopefully it's not too serious so we can get him back, or at least we get Mark Stone back, hopefully, as the series is tied 2-2. So it looks like everyone's coming back on like the 27th. So hopefully if it's not, of course, it's not there. So if we look to bring someone up, there's two people that come in my mind instantly, but I think the one player I'm thinking of is Jean-Gabriel Pageau. Definitely a great player for Ottawa and Binghamton in real life. Definitely a fan favorite in both as they create many chances for both of them. But as going into the lineup changes, bringing Pageau into the lineup, do you have any idea who should we switch here?
Well, first of all, I'd appreciate your consultation with your assistant GM on who to bring up. But no, that's probably who I would have had brought up. Maybe Bozen, maybe Pumple down there. But I think Pageau is a good choice, the only righty of the three. I'm looking at a 3-man rotation here, kind of a triangle. Pageau down to the third line center, Lazar over to right wing, and then Eberle up to the second line is what I would probably do personally. But there you go.
I do like it, actually. I know this is 2/3 of the line, along with Condra in real life, but Heatley definitely still performing at his later ages in his career. But obviously, Jordan Eberle, you can't look over his overall and his recent goal. So obviously, that's a move we're going to make. But penalty kill, we'll go into it real quick. We might as well just put Pageau in there just to make that easy quick. So that way, if Chiasson or Stone comes back, they can instantly take over that spot yet again. But going into Game 5, actually, of course, the day after we make the lineup changes, I think definitely we need Stone back in the lineup. So we're going to... Should we take Pageau out or should we take Condra out?
That is a really tough decision. I think because of the situation they would be in, I'm saying take Pageau out.
Interesting to see, but Condra does not have a point. But I'm kind of interested to see if Pageau does anything. So for one game, I think I'm going to try him out in the playoffs, but Mark Stone definitely come back in for Eric Condra just because I want to see if Pageau actually does anything. Then I will switch these two back so they go back to the original lines, except for the exception of Pageau on the fourth line. So if we look forward to Game 5, do you have an X Factor? And if so, who is it? As our AHL team makes the playoffs real quick. And I just saw this, Robin Lehner coming back for our team. Definitely a huge booster going into Game 5. But Alex Moody, thank you so much. But Robin Lehner, you are our guy. So let's get you back in the lineup. Obviously, Craig Anderson holding it on for us. And going to Game 5 with Robin Leonard back, do you expect a victory coming out of us? And if there is an X factor, who is it?
I think you look at Robin Leonard coming off of injury. I think you do win this next game. It's actually not an elimination game, so because we did win the last one, it's 2-2 right now. But I think Robin Leonard is able to pull it out in this game. Anderson did play well in the 2 games he played for us. But I'm looking at Robin Leonard to pull this game off.
Yeah, like you said, Robin Leonard coming back from injury. 2 goals quickly by Turris. 1 on the power play, 1 not. But Hodgen's not going away. But like you said, Kyle Turris in that first line hasn't really been coming back in a while as they tied up 2-2 halfway through the second. But one thing I did notice a lot is we are getting an early power play in each game within the first couple minutes of the game. As 3 goals go down in favor of Buffalo, going to 4-3, going into the third period. I know I skipped a minute into it here, but do you think we can come back from this 1-goal deficit?
I definitely think you can. 1 to 2 goals is definitely manageable here in the third period, and maybe even going into overtime. But team definitely has the star power and the offensive power to take this game 5-4, I believe.
All right, you called it 5-4. Do you have an X factor?
Erik Karlsson.
Erik Karlsson. All right, you called it. Erik Karlsson for you. I'm going to go with Mike Hoffman yet again. He did well for me last time. Going on the power play, 5-on-3 even. And Grigorenko gets a late goal with 3 minutes left. Can we pull it back? No, we can't. Okay, so we are now losing 3-2 in the playoffs to Buffalo. And Hoffman did a good assist on that first goal for Turris. But going into it, do we have any injuries? Mark Stone may have gone again. I'm not sure if it was just situational again, because they do have a couple of low guys in the minutes department. But Ryan had a big game in 3 assists. But do we have an injury? Hopefully not. If not, then we will look to Game 6 with maybe a couple guys coming back here. I'm not exactly sure. Probably not, though. Okay, so going to Game 6, nothing's changing. I'm not sure exactly who to look for here. Just hopefully the entire team steps up and we go to Game 7 and hopefully win. Greening, get a big goal on the board already. But fourth line guys definitely stepping up here of recent play as we go into the second period of game number 6. Do you think we can hold on to this? And do you have an X factor? I know we keep mentioning the X factor, but definitely in the playoffs you want to look to that one guy.
I'm not sure if one guy is going to be able to do it, but it's always good to score first. It's gone a long period of time without a goal. I'm hoping we can pull this one out, maybe get a second on an empty netter, but there you go. Jacob Trouba, big confidence booster for both Trouba and Greeny to get a goal in that game. Huge boost for Robin Leonard with a 30-save shutout as well. So I think 3 guys get their confidence boosted. Hopefully we can ride that momentum going into game number 7.
Definitely agree. Game 7 coming along with us. Heatley playing a lot less minutes. I'm not sure exactly what happened there, but Robin Leonard flawless in Game 6. Greening with a huge early goal. It was in the first period. I'm not exactly sure when. But going to Game 7, we definitely will look for, I think Chiasson is coming back, maybe. I'm not exactly sure. Yep, there we go. But it is against the clock here as we put people back in the lineup. But I think if we send Pajot down, we'll have enough room for him on the roster. And I actually was thinking about it just now, but we actually could have sent the goalie down. But am I on the right play? I don't remember. Oh, that's right. There was a spot open already. But Chiasson, let's put him back in on that fourth line role. Penalty kill, got to put it back in on there. And you guys see it, Eric Condra is still our extra guy. Going to Game 7, who are you looking for?
I'm going to say Keith Yandel. I've got some real-life bias because he plays for my Rangers, but, he needs to step up. He hasn't really done much as of late, at least. Bad early goal there by Evander Kane, but Eberle right back on it past Chad Johnson. But, I look at Keith Yandel, maybe to get this go-ahead goal. Like I said, he hasn't done much as of late, and playing next to Erik Karlsson should be able to overpower any team in the NHL, those 2 guys together.
Definitely agree with the top 2 lines there. But Bogosian or whatever you say his name as, gets a third goal for Buffalo as Sam Reinhart gets his fourth, or gets their fourth, I should say. 4-1 victory. Highly unlikely, but do you see us coming back?
We might be able to make it 4-2, 4-3 maybe, but man, 3-goal deficit going into the third period. I'm not sure the simulation will be able to bring this one back for the Ottawa Senators.
As much as I want to say, I do still think we can win this. Highly unlikely. Let's start it right off, unless we get an early goal here within the first 5 minutes, which we don't. So unless we get a crazy fury of scoring with the 5th goal going in by Kane, it's highly unlikely, as we do lose to Buffalo 4-3 in the first round. I don't know what really went wrong there. It was just people stopped showing up. I'm not exactly sure why, but either way, it was a pretty good run. Going into the offseason, we definitely have a lot of questions. Probably a major move we're going to end up making, but I guess you'll have to stay tuned in order to see that. But I will show you who wins the playoffs in the next video before we start the offseason, and we will get to the draft and all the signings and all that other good stuff in the next video. So anything you have to say, Chris?
Just another disappointing first-round loss, third year in a row. Hopefully next year we'll be able to make the right moves and move past that.
Yeah, I definitely agree. You can't really keep on the first-round exits here. We definitely need to improve that. If not, Eugene Melnick will be knocking on our door saying you better do a lot better, or you're going to be out of here. But hopefully we don't do that, because I do want to stay in Ottawa for a little while longer. If not, we have a backup plan to go somewhere else. But either way, guys, that's gonna be the end of the video. Leave a like if you enjoy, or if you are enjoying the series, because I definitely want to know your feedback on anything going on in the series. If I can improve anything, if Chris can improve anything, if both of us can improve anything, or if you want to see anything different, let me know. And subscribe if you're new. Definitely important to us here in Ottawa. But anyway, guys, that's the end of the video, and I'll see you later.